What's up guys, Zabza here, bringing you a battle with my second generation Little Cup team. Looking at my opponent's team, he's got a Kabuto, Wynot, a Mankey, a Magby, a Shroomish, and a Staryu. Potential threats, definitely Mankey and Magby, considering Magbys usually run Life Orb and are very threatening. Mankey because it's a choice scarfer and it gets pretty good coverage in the form of close combat and punishment, which can be very hazardous to my Mischievous, which sets up a nasty plot. Shroomish is very annoying considering that it sets up a substitute Leech Seed and Poison Heal and usually doesn't run much of anything else. Wynot is a classic trapper which I have to be on the lookout for, but I think that my Houndour or my Pineco could probably take care of it. Houndour because it's massively specially offensive with substitute, and Pineco because it doesn't have many attacking moves, and the only attacking move it does have is Payback. Finally, Kabuto and Staryu have potential to be rapid spinners, while Kabuto has access to stealth rocks. So overall, pretty good team, but I'll let you guys see for yourselves. So my opponent today is ChickenGuru, who I met on the Smogon Wifi-Battle Finder. He's going to start off with his Kabuto as I send out my Strobless, and here I don't really see much point sticking in considering he probably has access to a Rock-type move and Rapid Spin, so there's no point in setting up my own hazards, or spinning them away just to break my sturdy. He's going to set up his own Stealth Rocks, and here's the Rock-type move. As I send in my Flashlight, my Chimchao, and go for the Agility. I go for the Hidden Power Grass just so I can knock him out. However, he does have the Focus Sash, which is great for him, meaning he gets guaranteed entry hazards. He goes for the Rock Slide and the Aqua Jet to get me down to 3 HP, which is very unfortunate for me, as I finish him off with the Thunderbolt. And with those rocks up, I can't really switch in anymore, as he sends out Wynot, which works out pretty well, which means since I can't really switch in anyway, I can just go for some damage on this Wynot. And I can switch into my Black Mage, which I can actually predict the switch here and go for a Shadow Ball. So I go for the Nasty Plot, expecting the switch, and he sends out Staryu, which is great chance to knock it out. He goes for the Hydro Pump, gets me down to half health after Stealth Rocks. I'm going to go for the Shadow Ball, it's going to be a solid 2-hit KO, and I'm going to be able to knock it out with another one. He misses his Hydro Pump, which is fortunate, but it didn't really matter that much considering it only brought me down to half HP after Stealth Rocks, so I would have had a little bit anyway, and his Mankey just comes in and revenge kills me with a punishment anyway. So I switch into my Strobless, and I'm free to go for the Rapid Spin. Since he can't really do anything, I figured he was Choice Scarf since they pretty much always are. I go into my Dirt Bat as he goes into his Magby. He goes for the Overheat, which I was not expecting. I'm guessing it's a special one. So I'm taking a risk here going for staying in with my Dirt Bat. But it pays off, he does not have the Hidden Power Grass, and I predict correctly to switch into Shroomish and go for the Ice Punch. Now, not wanting to take any kind of hit from this thing, I'm going to go into my Strobless, considering I do resist anything it's got. He goes for the Spore, which actually works pretty well having this thing as Sleep Fodder. He goes for the Poison He gets Poison Heal with his Toxic Orb, and I'm going to be able to switch out into my Balto as he sets up a substitute. And I'm going to be able to see if this guy can actually hit me or not with a substitute of my own. So he goes for Leech Seed, and it does nothing. He goes for Protect, I'm guessing just to get some health back, as I'm going for the Dark Pulse in case he wants to pull off a switch. So I keep going for these Dark Pulses as he switches into his Mankey, and this thing doesn't really scare me. I'm actually predicting the U-turn here, which I predict correctly, and I go for another sub. And he's actually going to pull back his Mankey with the U-turn and switch into his Magby. And I'm so glad I went for this sub, because it was just the right choice, because he runs Mach Punch on his Magby, which means it's going to do super damage, and I'm going to be able to knock it out with a Dark Pulse. I honestly thought I'd have to do a little more, but thankfully I didn't, because I'd have to switch out. He goes into his Mankey, and now is a good chance just to switch into my Strobless. He goes for the Close Combat, which means I'm going to be able to take those hits all day. It does nothing. And he's going to switch into his Shroomish and... or not his Shroomish, sorry, his Wynot. And really, this is the best option, because he can do anything he wants, and I don't have to do anything. I'm literally just waiting for these sleep turns to burn off, and he's just stalling me out. So I can actually just wait and set up some late game spikes. He goes into his Shroomish, and I'm going to need Switch Initiative on this thing, so I can bring in my Houndour. I'm going to need it. So I'm going to go for these spikes. I'm really just waiting for this guy to take me out with residual damage, which I don't mind too much. Like I said, I need a free switch into Houndour, and these late game spikes are pretty much going to guarantee that I can take out that Mankey with a low power hit. well, Mankeys don't have the best of defenses anyway, so as long as I got that little bit of extra damage off with spikes, I should have been fine. And I think that I'm just going to keep going for these paybacks here, since he's setting up substitutes. I've got up entry hazards that I need, and if I thought about it, I probably could have gotten away with going for a payback, or not a payback, a stealth rocks eventually, but I did not want him to keep subbing up. That would have been awful for me. So now I finally go down, I get my switch initiative into my Balto, I go for the substitute, and he cannot do jack to me. So I'm going to go for the Fire Blast, I'm going to knock him out, which is fan-frickin-tastic. Down goes Shroomish, and he's only left with Why Not and Mankey. This Why Not's going to be no problem to take down, just one Dark Pulse and it is gone. So Dark Pulse, once again, gone. And finally he's left with his Mankey, and after Spike's damage, I'm thinking that a combination of Dark Pulse and Sucker Punch will knock it out. However, it seems that just the Dark Pulse is going to manage to do it. So I take out his Mankey, and that is the end of the battle, which was a really good game. So, talk of the day. Today's talk of the day, I actually want to ask you guys a favor. So, recently, it's become really hard for me to try and come up with a new thumbnail for every battle. And not only that, but my artist has been AWOL for the past 2 to 3 weeks, maybe even a month. I mean, I can do it, but it just takes a really long time. I'm talking about maybe half an hour to an hour on each thumbnail. So, what I want to ask you guys is, if you guys have any kind of art you'd like to submit to me and want to see it on a thumbnail, go for it. Just send me a PM and I'll see if I can use it. And if I do end up using it, I'll credit you in the description. So that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed that battle. Comment, rate, subscribe, and challenge.